You know, they told me it wasn't worth it. But you know what I said to them, right?
No, because you have a couple witty sayings that you're prone to break out on occasion.
Well, okay, so I used one of them, but essentially the story doesn't matter what I said, because whatever witty saying that I say, it ends the same way. And I got my ass kicked, like not bad, but they kicked my ass, like they took their foot and they put it into my butt, like in the fleshy part, and it was kind of hard. Like it didn't even seem that like full-hearted, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But oh, hey, we're live. Okay, so oh, it's the courtesy flush. Welcome, flushers and flushettes, to another episode, another stream of the best little show in Cleveland. I'm here with Naresar. Is it Naresar? Is it N-Reeser? I put like
if
an
you
A
go
there.
off of,
Oh, it's N-A Reeser.
it's
right?
N.A. Reeser.
All right.
Okay. And if I had been asked, like, just in a vacuum when I first created that,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably how I would have said it, because it's my, name.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, first two initials,
Like
last name.
like to say it is N-A Reeser.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then Mike and Kevin, everybody was just pronouncing it as Naresar, and it's like, yeah, why not?
Naresar. It sounds way more internet that way.
Yeah.
Naresar. Naresar. So Naresar, N-A Reeser, and Michael, because that's my name, but spelled fucky. We're here today.
Michael 19XDX.
Michael 19XDX, because on Twitch you can't just be Michael. Somebody took that already, so at least I think, and I don't even think I could do just 19. I don't think I wanted to, but you know what? At least 3 other people had the same idea I did. You were there that day, weren't you, when I came up with that? But you weren't with me. It was during Academic Challenge.
I wasn't in Academic Challenge.
Fuck, what?
I was in the band.
I thought they tried to get you for that. Was it?
I wouldn't have been surprised if they tried.
Didn't you come to like the trash tournament or something? Because that's what they hooked me in for. I wasn't in it. They just kind of brought me along for the fun of it. They wanted a B team.
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Band and film club and Socratic club.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, actually, I kind of got adopted by the band too my senior year. So, but you weren't there.
No, I was graduated by then.
You were in Kent?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've put this off for long enough.
Well, one more thing.
Yes.
So last Friday we were playing Train Simulator, and
Yes.
I did honestly a terrible job of trying to drive the steam engine up the hill. Just to prove it to myself, I went back and redid that scenario actually yesterday, and I was able to hold it almost at either at 60 or just below it for the entire way up the hill, and I did much better that time.
Did you beat the record?
I forgot to time myself to see if I beat the record or not.
Right.
But
oh, do you actually time yourself outside of the game while you're like? Is that just a fun little part? They don't actually keep track of that. They just say.
I think it's just a fun little part. Yeah.
That's funky. I like that though. You think they keep track, but no. It's like you keep track. Set your stopwatch, but not your phone, because then we'll fine you $10,000.
If you were in a real locomotive, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but
Anyways, today
I let my freak flag fly. We're playing something that we never played before. There's a lot of things that fall into that category, but it's the game that I have probably played the most out of sheer boredom. My mom has Spider Solitaire. Mal has World of Warcraft. Kevin has Rocket League, and a bunch of other things. I have Hearthstone. So that's what's happening. I'm going to load that up, and we're going to see if the audio is going to stay with us. It's speakers, real time. Okay, what's going on? I'm just making sure it's up before we start, so you don't see my sick desktop with my sweet wallpaper. It's so cool, so trippy. But man, if you could see it, you could make some assumptions about me and about pharmaceuticals. But don't let the hype win. Because I don't do drugs that aren't prescribed by my doctor, unless it's aspirin and acetaminophen and ibuprofen and Naresar sodium. Let's see here. That's PC. It's a jaunty tune. It's because of Hearthstone. It's a card game by Blizzard. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. No, just hold your applause.
You might want to turn the game down just a speck.
There we go. Because I'm funny. I'm a funny guy. Now come on. Hey, don't be like that. Okay, we're friends again. Geez, that jaunty tune's pretty loud. No, so this is Hearthstone. It's a card game by Blizzard. Wow, 420, yeah. I didn't notice that till now. We'll make that number change because I think we're gonna. Well, we can do a couple of different things. Right now is their Halloween event. They have cotton candy or not cotton candy.
Candy corn.
Candy corn in universe candy corn in Blizzard. So they have Halloween themed Tavern Brawl, which is okay. It's got the Headless Horseman, but it's not too exciting. And then we have the arena, which is kind of interesting. How much do you know about Hearthstone, Nick?
It is played with cards on a computer.
Okay. So,
and you have different kinds of decks. Like, you have, like, kind of almost, I don't want to say D&D classes, but D&D class-esque.
Oh, absolutely. So there's several classes, and there's about 9. Well, there's probably more other classes in Blizzard, but they start you off with 9, and there's 9 classes that you can choose from. There's the Druid, there's the Mage. I should look at the actual. Here we go. There you go. That's a Druid. This is an alternate portrait for the Druid. That's the Hunter. That's the Mage. These are Paladins. Priest, which is my favorite. Rogue. We have the Rogues. Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior. Ooh. Warrior. And depending on what hero you play, 2 things change. You have a specific pool of cards that you can choose from for your class. They're your class cards. And they're all kind of themed a little bit. So Druids are themed around... They have this idea of innervation or ramping. Your resource in-game is mana. So you start with 1 mana at the beginning of your turn, and then that increases every turn until you get to 10. And that's what you use to play cards. So there's a mana cost associated with every card. Druids are built around the idea that they can get mana faster. So Innervate has been nerfed recently. I think that was in the last 3 months. Since the beginning, Innervate used to be a card that cost 0 mana, and it would give you 2 mana for that turn, which allowed you to do some ridiculous things.
I can see that happening, yes.
Absolutely. And then they have cards like Wild Growth. This lets them gain an empty mana crystal it doesn't let them use that mana crystal, but if it was turn 1 or turn 2, they use Wild Growth, and then it goes to the other person's turn and it comes back to them. Instead of having 3 mana that turn, now they have 4. So you can have 2 of these in your deck, and if you get to play them early, you have ramped up your mana cost, and you are ahead of the person. So you're going to get to 10 faster, and you're going to be able to play better cards earlier. And then there's some other aspects of Druid, but that was the key part. Hunter is all about attacking and beast synergy. Hunter's best decks have been aggressive decks. I'm trying to remember what they used to call it. I think it was they just called it aggro hunter. And so they'd throw out a couple of cards real early. So this one has beasts have +1 attack. There were a few cards that they had, they call them death rattles, and that means when your card dies or runs out of health, an ability will trigger. But they were really picky to deal with, and so you would come up against the hunter and you'd be like, oh man, again? Because if you don't get, so like for them, it didn't really matter what kind of cards that they got. Like if they got a good hand, they're almost unbeatable. But depending against who you were playing, if you weren't getting the cards that you needed, they'd kill you. They'd kill you too fast. And that's because their hero power is for 2 mana, they can do 2 damage to you.
Okay.
Directly to your hero.
How much does a hero have? Is it constant or is general?
You start with 30.
Start with 30. Okay.
Start with 30. So, and then the druid, they have a hero power which gives their character 1 attack and 1 armor.
Okay.
So they can attack if they use their hero power, and they also can build armor. It's kind of split. Mages are all about spells. And you can do direct damage or random damage, but they're mages. They cast spells. Their hero power, for 2 mana, you can do 1 damage to anything, and you can make it go anywhere. In fact, you can even damage yourself or your minions, which you'd be like, well, why would I want to hurt my minions? Well, some minions get stronger if they're hurt.
Oh, okay.
Or an effect triggers. So like there was a card that every time it gets hurt, you get to draw a card. So that's pretty good when you compare it with the mage. Paladins are about cheap secrets, buffs, some weapons. Divine Shield is kind of their main characteristic. They also have a hero power that lets them generate a 1/1 minion.
Okay.
Priests are about, you have 2 sides of the coin. You have the healing priest, which of course lets you heal things. And then you have the shadow priest, which lets you hurt things. And it's also, its fun characteristic is that you can steal minions. Sometimes temporarily, sometimes permanently. So things like Shadowward Pain. If the minion has 3 or less attack, you just kill it. That's really good. Because there's some bomb-ass cards that have 3 or less attack. And then for everything else, there's Shadowward Pain. Because if it has 5 or more attack, I can just kill it. That's pretty good. What if it has 4 attack? Well, in that case, I'm sweating a little bit. Because I don't have any good 3-cost minions. I mean, some of them are okay, but it's, I wonder if they have any 3, here we go, Omega Medic. This is a 3 mana 3/4. Anytime, the mana cost, so what you're looking for is, there's value and balance and whatever, and this is true about any card game. Because there's going to be a cost to play your card, and then there's going to be the effects your card can do, and it's like main, health, and attack. Magic is kind of similar, but because this is a 3 mana card, it has 3 attack and 4 health. These numbers are equal to or greater than that mana cost, which makes it a pretty good value. A 3 mana 3/4, that's just a decent card in general.
Okay.
Its effect, though, wants me to wait until I have 10 mana crystals. So a 3 mana 3/4 on turn 3 is a good card. But if I play this on turn 3, I'm not going to get to use its battle cry effect.
Okay.
And that's what happens when you play it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this one, it's a 3 mana 2/3, and it's like, well, that's expensive because that attack is low. It's not even equal to the mana cost. But I get to choose a friendly minion and summon a 1/1 copy of it. That could be really good if I have a minion with a death rattle. That's really important. So, like, let's say I had, I have all the priest cards, so I'm going to be flipping a while. This guy, Obsidian Statue, his death rattle destroys a random enemy minion. That's pretty cool. It costs a lot to play, and I can only play them, like, if there are some 1 mana cards, but I'm pretty much just playing this card on a turn.
Yeah. And
then if I had that other card, I could make a 1/1 copy of it. And then now it has taunt too, which means they have to attack it. They can't attack anything else before they attack these. Which is great, because then the death rattle procs, and then it destroys one of their minions. So that's how you can get value out of a card that doesn't immediately have value. He's calling me at like 7:30, an unlisted number. Yeah, it's a 3 mana 2/3, but I can get that additional value by copying a good card. Getting to the point where I can play that good card without losing momentum. Another card game term. Well, game term in general.
Yeah.
Momentum is in chess. It's maybe in checkers to a small degree. But I'll talk a little bit about that when we get into it. But anyway, finish rounding out this thing. Rogues are about weapons and about combo cards. So you play a card and then you get an additional effect. So like this one. If I just use it, it gives a minion +2. But if I use any card, I play any card before I play this, it'll give it +4 attack. So there are a lot of combo cards that I just need to be aware that I have to play anything, just as long as it's a card.
Yeah.
They're also about weapons. That's its hero power. It gets to make a 1/1 or a 1/2 weapon. 1 being the attack, 2 being the number of times I can use it before it breaks.
Okay. And
when I use a weapon, my hero will take damage when it attacks something, equal to the attack of the thing I'm attacking. I'll be able to show you that. Priest, as you can imagine, 2 mana to heal 2 health to anything.
Okay.
Shamans have, they're a little similar to druids in where they can kind of ramp, but it's a little backwards. They get to play a card, like a cheap card. Let's see here. Good example. Here we go. For 3 mana, I can summon 2/3 Spirit Wolves with Taunt. That's really good. That's 2 minions, 2/3. Not exactly equal to 3, but I get
But you're getting 2 of them. Yeah.
And they have taunt too.
So they have to be attacked, right?
They have to be attacked.
Yeah.
But the little part is it's an overload card, which means I play this card 1 turn, the next turn, 2 of my mana crystals are locked. So I am effectively taking mana from my next turn to play this card.
Ah, okay.
They have a hero power that lets them summon a 0/2. Well, they have 4 different totems they can summon.
Okay.
They're all 0/2 except for the one that's 1/1. 1 totem will give 1 health back to every minion on the hero side of the board. Another minion has taunt. Another minion has spell power attack +1.
Okay.
So anything that's a spell that does a damage, spell power +1 will increase that damage by 1.
Okay.
And then the last one just summons a 1/1, similar to the Paladin.
Okay.
And it doesn't do anything special. Warlocks are about self-damage and draw. So, see this card? It's a 1 mana 3/2. Awesome, but it's going to do 3 damage to my hero.
Okay.
My hero power lets me draw a card, but it also damages me 2 health. So in exchange for health, I can draw cards. In exchange for health, I can play good minions. And so a lot of Warlock decks are based on being able to draw quickly.
Okay.
And having a lot more resources than my opponent. And finally, there's the Warrior. Warriors have a hero power that let them build armor. So armor is like health, but there's no upper limit.
Okay.
So I can have 30 health, and that's the max. But I can build armor on top of that infinitely.
Okay.
And just keep going. Which is nice because there's some, they call them control warrior decks, where the whole idea is that you just build armor. This is a 1-mana card that will deal 1 damage for every armor I have. If I have 20 armor, this thing's gonna kill, like, mostly depending on the situation, but it doesn't matter how much health you have. If I have a lot of armor, this is gonna kill you.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We used to have a really good card, well, Heroic Strike, Execute. Execute used to be 1 mana. Now they made it 2. Because people keep finding ways to like cheat with warriors. Ever since Patron Warrior, to explain. So Warrior is basically about building armor and about damaging your minions in exchange for making them stronger.
Okay.
So this Inner Rage card will deal 1 damage to anything and it'll give it +2 attack.
Okay.
Any minion. A lot of minions have either if they get hurt or another friendly minion gets hurt, I get armor or they get stronger. I can do 1 damage to all minions. So I'm sacrificing hurting myself to hurt somebody else. Cruel Taskmaster does the same thing Enrage does, but it's a minion. So I get to do Enrage and have a 2/2/2, which is pretty decent. And they're also about weapons, so they get a lot of weapons. Fiery War Axe used to be 2 mana, so it was a really good weapon for a long time. Now it's 3 mana. I think it used to, it used to be 2 mana. That used to be pretty good. So they're trying to balance things slowly. Generally, Blizzard has a nerf late, never ask questions policy. They'll let a card play through its lifetime, and then when people get upset about new cards that came out that pair with it too well, or it having too much of a presence in the meta, they'll nerf the card, and then nobody will play it anymore. Good examples are like there was a card. Where is it? It's now. Blade Flurry. So, if I had a weapon with a high attack, I can destroy it and deal its damage to all enemy minions. This used to be really good for board clear for rogues.
Yeah.
I think it used to cost 2 mana.
Okay.
But they're just, they came up with a weapon. I don't even know if I have it. Might have to go on the crafting to see if it's there. But the weapon's ability is when it breaks, it just goes back into my deck, and it keeps all of the buffs I've put on it.
Oh my.
And so
I see no possible way this could go wrong.
So you just keep recycling, and so they're like, you can't let them have a 4 mana, like, instant board clear. It's like, it's not fair. You can't do it. So it's like a Warlock for 8 mana gets Twisting Nether, so they could destroy all minions. But it destroys all minions, your minions and their minions.
Okay.
And it costs 8 mana. That's pretty fair for a board clear. Mage has a 7 mana. Do I not have it anymore? Oh, I have Minecraft. Flame Strike. Flame Strike is a card you just get. When you start playing, you have cards that, like, you don't have to craft, you don't have to open them in packs, they're just default cards.
Okay.
Flame Strike's 7 mana, and I only do 4 damage to all enemy minions. That's a board clear. This is a really good card if the enemy board is full of minions and they have mostly low health. But board clears are generally pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Priest has a funky one. It's called Psychic Scream. This doesn't destroy them, it just picks them all up and puts them in my enemy's deck, which is good and bad.
It's like gets them out of the way, but he can get them back.
Absolutely. That's the gist of it. And so what I'm gonna do is I have an arena run going.
Okay.
Arena is a game mode where you pay to enter the arena. It's like
Okay.
150 gold. I have 420 right now. It's not that expensive. And I make a deck by picking cards that are supplied to me random.
Okay.
So I get a choice of 3 cards, and I have to pick one, and I do that 30 times, and I have a deck, and then I go and play other people who have made decks in the same way.
Okay.
And there's a whole strategy to it, and I didn't think this deck was that good, but it's got me the 7 wins. Which, it doesn't mean much to somebody who might not know, but you can win 12 times, and like that's the most that you can win, and then you get like a good reward.
Okay.
So you get like 300 gold and a pack of cards and whatever. The least that you get is like a pack of cards and some dust. Like if I go in there, I just lose 3 times. I don't even win anything. I get a pack of cards and like that's it.
Okay.
And like that's disappointing because usually a pack of cards would cost 100 gold.
Okay.
But if I get the 7 wins, this is the break-even point. I get a pack, well, not even the break-even point. I get a pack of cards, I get 150 or more gold, and I even get like some other stuff. So if it costs me 150 to get in, and I get the 7 wins, I've earned a pack for free, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning of the game, where if you could consistently play arena and get 7 wins, you could just generate cards, and so you could get a full collection when it was still small. Now, I mean, if you're playing all of the time, so if you were a streamer, maybe it's good to do. But for me, it's just, okay, cool, I got 7 wins. I'm not that great of arena player.
Yeah.
Like, I know the mechanics of the game. I know a little bit about drafting, but I don't play as much as I used to. The reason I know so much about this game is when I wasn't actively tutoring, I'd be tutoring like a classroom during a lesson, which means I would pass out papers. And so I would have 2 2-hour classes where I would sit in the back and I'd do like a little bit of something. But that was mostly downtime. So I'd get out my iPad and I'd play Hearthstone.
Yeah, I remember for a while there, you like, especially like when you were working in the tutoring center with like me and Kevin, that like you were playing Hearthstone a lot and so.
Because it was the best game that filled my time, in my opinion, and to some degree still is. It's not like you can play, like obviously we're playing it on a PC right now, but you can play it on an iPad, you can play it on your phone, any tablet really, you can play it on a laptop. It's not a heavyweight application, so like anybody can play. It's free. We can get into that later.
Jaina versus Thrall.
It felt worth it.
You asked for it.
Alright, so first part of the game is a mulligan. I have 3 cards, which means I'm going first. And what I'm looking for is cards that will cost like 2 mana. This one, I'm not going to keep these. So I can choose if I want to keep these or not. And so I go back in my deck and I draw 3 more cards. I don't have any 1 mana minions, but this is pretty good. So I'm going to be able to play something turn 2. Which is exactly what you want in Arena.
Job's done.
This guy, he might even have a 1 mana card to play. Because we both won at least 7 times. Alright. So, what you'll notice is that's the Shaman, and he's got the Druid hero power.
Okay.
That's what's special about this arena, because it's Halloween. You get the hero, and then you get to dress up like another hero.
Gotcha.
So he gets to choose from a pool of Shaman, Druid, and Common cards. I get to choose from Mage, Rogue, and Common cards.
Okay.
And so I could play this Death Rattle, but then he'll just play his hero power and kill it. So
Okay.
Time runs out.
I'm gonna use this one.
Just like you.
This is a decent card because it's a 2 mana 3/2, so
Okay.
already a good value. He's got a weapon, so he's gonna kill it. And it lowers all the spells by 1. So I could have played this card next turn, but I can't do that now. Now I have 3 mana. It'd be nice if this cost 5 mana, or was a different card that costs 5 mana, a different spell, so I could get this boost, but that's okay. I have something to play this turn. That's fine.
Job's done.
And what he can do is he could use his hero power to boost his attack. That's probably what he's going to do, and then kill this card. Because right now, it's all about getting presence. We're fighting for position. It's a 2/3, so he's going to be able to boost that again. So I have a couple cards I can choose from. I could play this dude. That's pretty good. It's a 5/1, and then summons a 5/1 when it
Okay.
dies. This is
I wonder.
4 mana. It's kind of like that one shaman card I showed you, but it
Okay.
doesn't cost mana next turn. This is a really good minion. 3/6 for 4 mana, and it freezes anything it runs into. We're gonna go.
Job's done.
So if he attacks this and has like another weapon in his hand, or wants to use his druid power next turn to attack something, he'll be frozen next turn. So he wouldn't be able to do that.
Dark One snatch all!
So now I have to make a decision. You know what? It's not even that hard of a decision. I could use my hero power and attack this,
Okay.
but that's 5 attack, and then I'm just gonna have to do it again.
Yeah.
What's better is using the Cinder Storm. It's going to
Okay.
do 5 damage randomly, so it's going to do this. Or it doesn't. That's called RNG. So instead,
That's incredible.
right? I know.
Amazing.
So I want to get rid of that. So that's what I'm going to
I'm ready.
attack it, and then I'm good. And that's not great, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah.
So I had, what is it? 0.5 times 0.5 to the power of 5. Probability that wouldn't hit that, right?
Well, wouldn't hit it all 5 times. So 2 to the 5th is 32. So 1 out of 32 chances that it like deals all 5 damage to the actual other player.
I'm ready.
1 out of 32. That was. So that's what happened. And there's a lot of cards that have, a lot of people complain about the RNG.
I think I've heard you complain about the RNG too.
This is a random enemy minion. Let's see what perfect. So no matter what, target by strength. This is great. This is awesome. So watch this. Stealth anymore.
Wait, hover over that again?
Over this.
Volcanosaur. Okay.
Yep. So it adapted, which is a expansion mechanic.
Okay.
You play the card, and then you get to choose from 3 things
What
that
to
it
do?
can add to that
What
card.
to do?
Okay.
So they added can't be targeted by spells or hero power, and they added +1/+1.
Okay.
It's good for them. I could get rid of that with my silence, or here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to attack.
Hey,
with
give me
this,
that!
So I drop. That's decent. I'm going to use my hero power.
I'm ready.
Attack that tiger, and now I'm going to kill this.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
So normally that attacks a random minion, but if it's only 1 minion, it's only 1 thing to choose from. Alright, 8 mana. Okay. So what I usually, what the good idea is to try and use all your mana every turn.
Okay.
So I can
Makes
play,
sense.
Yeah, you just want to use all the resources you have available to you.
What to do?
You know what? I'll do.
Your magic shall not save.
Actually, it's probably wasn't well thought out. So he wasn't going to have an opportunity to use that because he doesn't have a way to gain armor quickly, and he had to have 6 armor to have that attack.
Okay.
I just silenced that to get rid of the taunt. So
I'm
I can
ready.
attack this. Get rid of it.
Wait.
And,
Question.
yes.
Or because I noticed the minion you just used to attack also died from that.
Oh, I attacked it once, and then I attacked it with the other minion.
Okay.
I attacked it once because that minion has Enrage. So when it takes damage, it gets Melee.
Okay.
It also gets Wind Fury, which is a tribute that lets it attack twice in a turn.
Okay.
Sucks. Let's see here. Gonna do this. 3. So right now I'm gonna ride the train. Let's see if I can get lucky attacking this.
I cast arcane missiles.
All right. 6 mana to play with.
Do you want to spend 5 or 5?
Yeah. It's probably good to get this.
Job's done.
As you can see, I'm running low on cards. So I
Yes.
have the board. I got 3 minions.
Access denied.
Now he's got to get turn the turn. Shit. I have a card that can help me out really good. Okay. That's not bad. Why'd I get to draw so many cards?
He played something that he did something, but you got
he
to
did.
draw 2
That's
cards or whatever.
He did like Return to Nature or something like that. What I'd like to do is save this, but
I wonder.
because if I had just 4 more attack on him, I could have gotten rid of him. But it's going to be a better idea to keep this.
You don't.
And that took all my mana to do 10 damage to that. So what was good about this deck is if I get that card, they feel safe if they're like, usually they're not going to see that fireball. I think that was a wow! So it's a 12/12 10 mana minion, and it kills everything on the board, and then you have to discard the entirety of your hand.
Wow.
So
So now he has the board, but you have the hand.
here's the board, I have the hand. So
What
here's
to
what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get 2 into mix. See if this helps me. Okay, it's not so bad. That's a pretty decent card. It's got Taunt and Divine Shield, which means he'd have to attack it twice, or attack it with his face once. But this is gonna give me health back. 6 and 2.
I wonder.
3, 5, and 3. We're gonna do this. We're gonna put that
Rotten to my
Runs out on me.
pointy teeth.
So if I can survive this dude, and he doesn't have anything that can like break through, like we could do some direct damage to this card and then attack my face. It's gonna get close, but right now, Lifesteal and Rush. So I'm trying to whittle my face down. See, this is the card that destroys a mech. 5 mana for a 3/3, but it would have been totally worth it if that mech was still on the board. Which has got me out of a pickle or two when I've been playing with this. So that goes on the board because I don't want it on my face. I have to attack this, so he has to hit this with his face if he wants to get rid of it. And then I have 4 mana left, so I'm going to play this.
I've got an idea!
Yeah, I'll just make damage, gain 2 armor, go. So if he doesn't do something swings around, it's going to be game over. Ooh. Alright. 1, 2. But I think he might lose anyway. 1, 2, 3, plus 4 if I combo. And if I wanted to be a dick, I'd attack this. But I'm not a dick. I'm just gonna beat him.
Just to taunt him by, like, hey, I destroyed your, you know, all-powerful thing.
Not only that, I've given him a power to go back, and so if he had, like, 2 good cards that could kind of, like... Who knows what he could have done. I am giving him an opportunity to take it back as a taunt. And being like, come at me, come at me, come at me. It's a mean thing to do. Especially when you have the win in hand.
Yeah.
But I want to get as many wins as possible because I'm on a run.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, if the way I have things set up is I have enough minions at what they call what is it called? You want to balance your deck so that at any given moment you have cards in your hand that you can play. That's one of the most important things about Arena is just being able to play cards because it's all about the value you can generate.
Yeah.
If there's ever a turn where I'm not using a mana and it's like an early turn or mid-game, that's bad because that's ground I'm losing. And that all began and ended when I drafted cards.
Yeah.
Jaina versus
And,
Gul'dan.
Sometimes it works out.
Shall be mine.
You asked for it.
Alright, so I got 4 cards. That means I'm going second.
Okay.
It also means that I get a coin. That's how they balance the advantage of not going first. Some people say it's too strong. I'm going to keep this 3 mana minion just because, well, no, I'm not going to keep it. It'd be fun to have on turn 3 if it was situational, but what I want right now is 2 2-mana minions. Nothing. Okay. So this is going to be interesting because I'm not going to be able to play much the first couple of turns.
So what does the coin do?
Coin gives me an extra mana.
Ah, okay.
Yep. So I can use it whenever. If I wait until the end of the game, though, its value is less because I have so much mana.
That makes sense, yeah.
All right, so
Wonder. Time runs out on me.
what I can do is just not do anything this turn. I could have used this coin and used this card, but there are valuable spells in my deck. I could have used the coin and gotten a weapon, but it's turn 2, and that's what I'm going to do anyway. I could also play this and play this now, and see if I could get that to go away, but I'm just going to attack.
I'm ready.
But I'm not in a great position because all the minions that I have right now
Are more powerful.
well, they have a lot of mana, and this one needs 2 other minions to work right. This one is for destroying mechs. It's not even good to play. This one costs 8 mana. So not doing the greatest. So
I'm ready.
The RNG tree. So I got rid of that, which was good. It had the attribute poisonous,
Okay.
which means anything it attacks and damages will just die. And now I can't do anything else. So I just gotta go with that. So I'm not doing great. It's early game. He's got board presence. He's got M3. He's got minion. It gets more attack when it's my turn. I'm going to. So even though I can't make this battle cry go off, this is probably my best option. See. Play this. It's got a lot of health, which might help me balance out the board a little bit, but it's still iffy. You are not welcome here. I want to get rid of that pretty quickly. It's going to get alright, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to
Neither snow nor rain nor move.
kill that. It's 7. You can't kill it with his hero power because it's got 2 health, so he's going to have to use a card or attack it with this.
Okay.
It's got 8 attack. There's no bueno.
I'm flying!
It's got a charge. It's going to attack it with that. That's actually... We didn't hear what happens when, like when you click her. So a minion that, let's see here. Not doing the greatest. I am forced to do, I don't want to do that. So I could make a choice. I could play this card and destroy this. Or I could play this, and hero power and take another 6 damage. But that's a lot of damage real quick for turn 6. I'm gonna try and play it safe, even though I'm gonna be left with 1 mana. See what happens. That was. I'm gonna wonder if that was the move that I should or shouldn't have done. Okay, these are all right. You have another 1 mana. Echo is cool because it lets you play the card over if you have enough mana. Don't have anything with taunt. Spells. Alright. We're gonna go with this.
Mind if I roll
I want
me?
to draw cards. And this guy is powerful.
You gotta be
Makes all
kidding
my
me!
minions more
Job done.
expensive. For 5 mana, 7/6, it's awesome, but all my minions cost 3. So that's the balance that I'm drawing here. He's got mage cards, so maybe he's just got. See, that's, and he's just attacking my face. Get my health down. That's so I'm pretty much done. Yeah, we can try this. See what we get. That's nothing. Yeah, and it goes away because it's a spell.
Hey,
Should
give
try
me
this
that!
first, I think. So it didn't matter. So now I'm wondering if I had left that one guy on there, I could have had maybe a card earlier. I would have had this one out there that was poisonous, I think. But that's the way the cookie comes.
I'm ready.
And I got 8 wins. I could John and be like, oh, I didn't get the right cards, but that's what happens. Sometimes you don't get the cards that you want.
Well played.
Well
You
played.
face Jaraxxus,
This guy also
Naresar,
had
Lord of the Burning Legion.
Well played.
So that's an interesting card. It's the only card. Well, actually, there are some. There are more than that change your hero. That was the first of its kind.
Okay.
It's a warlock card, and it was really good because imagine if you were me and I had 3 health and I had that card. I get rid of my old hero. Now I have 15 health, a weapon, and a new hero power.
Yeah.
Now I get attacks. Some gold and maybe even some dust. Let's see here. There's that. Violent 5 gold. So that was the cost of my arena, and I get a pack. Let's go see what I get. Not that I care too much, because if I put too much value in collecting cards, I'll spend money on the game again. And whoa! Oh, jeez, it's always fun. So that's why you do it, because I got a legendary card.
Okay.
I think there's something like I forget what the odds are. I think there's usually like a 2% chance that you might get a legendary when you're opening packs. And there's also a pity counter. So if you go, it keeps track of how many decks your account has over, how many packs your account has opened.
Okay.
If you open a certain amount without getting a legendary card, it will flag, and then it will increase your probability of getting a legendary until you get one, and now mine has reset.
Okay.
When this is in my hand, this is a 3/4 copy of the last minion I played. So interesting. I don't know much about that card. It's one of the newer ones. Yeah, this is from the recent expansion, which is good because I don't have many cards from the expansion. Okay, so from here, we can do a couple of different things. We can do another arena, and you can help me draft a deck, and we can have fun with that.
Okay.
We could play standard. I have a couple of decks. That's pretty fun because this expansion, they came out with a card called what's this face? Whizbang the Wonderful. So usually you have 30 cards in your deck. If you have Whizbang the Wonderful in your deck, you get a random deck at the beginning of the game. Not particularly random. It's constructed, but you don't know what class you're going to play, and you don't know what kind of deck that class is going to have.
Okay.
Which is so fucking cool of them to do, because you can craft cards.
Okay.
That's the mechanic for like getting cards that you want but you haven't opened yet. So let's say Priest is a bad example because I have all the Priest cards. Because that's my favorite class, and that's my goal. Whenever there's a new expansion, I just want the Priest cards.
Okay.
And that's how I win at Hearthstone, in my heart.
Gotta have a goal.
That's all. It's like I realized long ago, if I do anything but, like if I try and collect all the cards, or if I try to stay competitive with the decks, it's like none of that. I just want my Priest cards, I want my Priest decks, and I want my Priest to be in the meta, and if they can, cool. Maybe a Druid, so I do crafting. So I have 340 dust, which means I can craft a rare card. It costs 100 dust to create. And then if I wanted the legendary card, like this Floop's Glorious Floop, that's 1600 dust, which is a lot because I get dust from opening duplicates.
Okay.
So for every common card I get a duplicate of, it gets me 5 dust. For every rare card, come on, I get 20. For every epic, I got epic druid cards. I have Ancient of War. For every epic, I get 100, and then for every legendary, which good luck getting duplicates, but if you play a lot, you will. I get 400.
You need 1600 to.
I need 1600 to craft a legendary.
A lot.
It's a lot of dust. And if you, what ends up happening is if you're willing to sacrifice the cards from like a class, well, several classes. In my case, all the classes except the Priest. You can get enough dust to get the cards that you want. But since it's the most recent expansion, and you've probably been playing for a while, or maybe not, asking somebody to get up to 1600 dust isn't that big of an ask. And let's say, like, you've just been playing for like 2 months or something. Maybe you're just a new player. and you're looking at all these cool decks that people are playing, and you wanna craft them, you wanna play those decks, you want to get out there and have fun with the combos and things.
Yeah.
But like legendaries are expensive, epics are expensive because you want a bunch of them, but they're 400 dust each.
Yeah.
So to have like 4 of those cards in your deck cost 1 legendary, and then rare cards are expensive. It's 100. So crafting decks is expensive, but if you just craft Whizbang and his wonderful, wonderful card,
Then you get one.
then I get
You
a
get-
completing this deck by whatever because I don't get to choose what deck, but that doesn't matter because there's so many and I want to try them all. And I get like legendary cards and epic cards and whatever for that game.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's try a game with Whizbang.
Okay.
See what happens. So they have 2 play styles. They have ranked and casual. Ranked is a ladder from rank 25 to legendary. Then you also have wild, which all of the cards that have been released can be used to make a deck. Standard, they restrict the card pool that you can build from, and that's to prevent. That's to make designing the game easier. Because if you have to make new cards that interact with the old cards that don't cause problems, that makes your
much
job
difficult.
stupid hard every
Yeah.
time you use cards, which is like that's what happens. You of any card game, that's what you're fighting. Is you want to add new content to your game, but you don't want to break it.
Yeah. It wasn't a card game. It was. I haven't played lately. I should get back onto that, but I've been busy lately. I played a game called War at Sea, which was originally it was like collectible miniature naval warfare. And since then it's kind of been taken over by the fan community, and they've released a couple like groups of new ships. And they have the same sort of thing that they've talked about. That it's like,
versus Jaina.
You asked
you know,
for it.
trying
Your soul
to make
shall
new
be
stuff
mine.
without making the old stuff completely irrelevant.
Yes. It's hard. It's really hard. I don't envy them. So, off the top of my head, I don't know what this deck is. I'm just gonna play smart. I think it's some sort of
Job's done.
control. What happens is expansion came out where because it's Blizzard and it's World of Warcraft, they marry the lore. But
Job's done.
sometimes they play around with what happens.
Okay.
So there was an expansion. I think it was like I don't know if they called it Wrath. It's Wrath of the Lynch King in World of Warcraft. I don't think if it's called the
Mind
same
if I roll
thing in
need?
Hearthstone, but it's like a Lich King themed expansion, and it wonders, all right, what would happen if the heroes of Hearthstone became the Lich King? So every hero has this alter ego card that costs 10 mana that turns them into the Lich King form of themselves.
Okay.
And it's like a superpowered version of them. We're gonna... So not only does this card summon all the demons that died during this game, I get 5 armor, and I also get a new hero power. I do 3 damage to anything, and it restores the which is great. That's great.
Yeah.
But I have to get to 10 mana to use it, and I also want to kill a lot of demons to get the they're playing some sort of elemental mage, is what I'm thinking. Choose a minion, death rattle, destroy chosen minion. Gonna draw. deck isn't too concerned about getting minions on the board early game. It's all about maintaining the game until I get my situation set up. So I have cards that control the board. This will do 1 damage, and if a minion dies, it will die. So if I can make it so that minions keep dying, it'll just clear the board. This will restore health to me. This restores health to me. It also deals damage. This is taunt, and it...
Rot into my core.
So I'm just trying to stay alive to the point where I get to use this. I've gotten some demons that have come out, and we'll get some value from playing this card too. But they're trying to do their thing too. And what might be is this might be a young player as far as the amount of 5. I'm using a decent deck that probably costs a lot of dust. They might be not. They might just be using cheap cards. See, I want to wait for 10 mana to use that. This will do 3 damage.
So many possibilities.
It is a fun card. If they don't kill it, all their minions die. Well, all the minions die.
And since you have no other minions,
yeah. So they have to attack. That's fine. They spend the whole turn making sure that and 5 and 2.
Rot into my core.
So yeah, I other than surviving, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do. Because like, what a good deck has 1 or 2 win conditions.
Winners moves.
What kind of
Empires fall.
condition is that I get some demons out, some powerful ones. They die through the course of the game. I play this card near the end of the game. All of those demons come back, and then I win just by board presence and
being able to steal
heal
health
myself and damage things. And that's what I imagine is supposed to be happening right now. And their win condition is probably to play elementals, get the benefits of playing elementals, develop a board.
Time runs out on me.
Take my health down. Lord Godfrey. Battlecry, deal 2 damage to all other minions. If any die, repeat. Sweet. 1, yes. 1, yes. 1 again. And
I think, yeah, that would
stay.
Well, because okay, so deal 2. Oh, it's deal 2 damage to every.
Yes.
So you deal 2 damage.
Oh, the only thing is this has Divine Shield on it.
Oh.
Which nullifies the first attack done to it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to.
I wonder.
This will be a massive.
Yeah.
Job's done.
Shit.
Almost out of time.
One of the things I had to be taught is, if you're a warlock and you have the mana, and you have the hand space. So I can have a maximum of 10 cards in my hand,
Okay.
and if I draw any more, that card will be burned, which means it's drawn, but I don't get to use it.
Pay attention, class.
Which sucks. Which sucks even more is that there are decks designed to burn your deck.
I'm ready to
So
learn.
you keep a handful of cards, and then cards. And it's fun because if you run out of cards, every turn that you don't have a card to draw, you take one point of damage exponentially for every turn. So the next turn you don't have a card to draw, you take 2, then 3, then 4. So you will die. Is that exponential?
That's linear, technically,
Okay.
because it's like 1x, where x is the number of turns you have not drawn a card. Now, the sum of that might be... I don't know if it's exponential or not, but...
Almost out of time.
Even if I'm low on health, but if I have the space to add a card and I have the mana to tap.
Okay.
Unless you know that they're going to be able to kill you if you take 2 more health damage. But generally speaking, you can't be afraid to tap. Because the more that's how you win, is having more cards than them. Alright, so that's a secret, which means it's like a trap card for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay.
Something happens and then it activates. There's a lot of things it could be. We're gonna try.
I wonder.
If you have 10 mana, go summon 2 copies of this minion. That's pretty decent. First, we're gonna try.
The end is coming!
Alright, that's the best possible move I could have made. Because now, no matter what they do, all the minions are going away. I'm also going to play this.
Because now he's gonna die.
He's going to die, and he's going to summon it.
They'll serve me now.
In fact, I'm even going to use this to get card draw. And
Almost out of time. Darkness rises.
that's a 9 mana minion, 3/9, and when it dies, it'll summon 3 1/3 demons with taunt. Which is just this is a stupid good card.
Pay attention, class.
Because nobody carries silence.
I'm ready to learn.
If I used it once when you're in arena,
Yeah.
it will get rid of
I'm
all
ready
the
to
benefits.
learn.
So like when a spell is cast, it'll get rid of, it'll generate a 1/1. If I silence this, it doesn't have that ability anymore. That's probably another mirror entity. Don't have much I can do.
I wonder.
Do the Omega agent. Do this dude. That's 6. My choices aren't great right now.
I wonder.
Let's tap. Let's go with it.
We are one. We are one.
There's another.
We are one.
So they get 1, I got 3. That's pretty good. Leave it at that. They're not going to be able to attack my face without getting rid of this and then everything it makes, or having a spell, but I got like a lot of health right now, so I'm pretty good. So not like, oh, it's pretty good.
I'm ready to learn.
I'll work to do. I don't even think they're gonna be, they might be able to do it in 1 or 2 So that was good, but they got 3 cards, and I'm just getting started.
Now, so is there any? You mentioned that you take penalties for running out of cards in your deck. Is there any way to replenish that, or is it just?
Not. There are some things to add cards to your deck, but think of what I'm gonna do now. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do.
With unity! With unity! With unity!
As you command.
Kill everything.
Ready to grow! Ready to grow!
Now what? And now what? What can they do? And do it.
A bard forged in blood and shadow.
There is a card that will switch decks, so it'll.
That would totally mess up your.
That was a good one.
We have many secrets.
Right? So now we just whittle them down, because whatever, they got cards, but not many. I have 4 cards in my deck, but they're going to be dead by the time I have to worry about that. Yeah, there are a few things that add cards. Psychic Scream adds
Someday I'll be
cards to
just
your
like
opponent's
you.
deck. There's a card that will add an unopened pack to your deck. So you draw that pack and then it opens in your hand. That one's fun. Generally, it's difficult to put cards back in your deck.
As you command. As you command.
So I think I blew all my big minions.
Tazdingo! Yes!
Let's play the game. Here we go.
We are one. We are one.
As you command. As you command.
Oh, do you have to wait for next turn to attack?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because wait, aren't those gonna kill him? But
I'm almost out of cards. Nicely done.
With unity! With unity!
Generally,
With
minions have to wait
unity!
a turn before, like,
okay.
there are cards with rush, and there's cards with what is it called? We'll look it up. Be a coin. It's gonna be. Where is it? Let's see if it's. Do I not? Oh, there it is. Charge. You have rush and you have charge. Charge. Blizzard hates charge because charge led to the creation of Patron Warrior, and that made a lot of people whine for a long time. It also made some other decks that people don't like, so everybody complains about it. Charge is an ability that lets you play a minion and attack in the same turn.
Okay.
That means that I can attack a minion or I can attack the hero. And that's... I'll explain why that was bad. Or why people said it was bad. So, once upon a time, there was this, where is she? Charge minions have, where is it? I'm trying to even remember what it was called. It was a 4-mana 2/2 weapon. Oh, you know what? It's probably a common. There it is. Warsong Commander. So this card had been around since the beginning of the game.
Okay.
And what it would do is if you had a minion on, like, so you'd play this card, and if you played a card that had 3 or less attack, it would give it charge.
Okay.
So now they changed it to your charged minions have +1 attack, which nobody plays this card anymore because this is dumb, and it's not even like a 3/3 for 3. This is bad card. So they basically nerfed it into oblivion.
Okay.
It sucks. And it used to not even be that good in the beginning of the game. Nobody really cared too much because there wasn't much of a need. It was not valuable to begin with. It was still a 2/3 for 3 mana. Or it might have even been 4 mana. It might have even cost more. And getting some minions that had charge, like, you could maybe play 2 other minions, but they'd have like 3 attack. And so having them have charge wasn't even that great. So this card didn't even see that much play in the beginning of the game. So a couple expansions later, out comes Mr. I don't even have a copy of it anymore. It's a common card, I'm pretty sure. Out came a Mr. Where are you? Elemento P R-O all cards. There we go. L-M Pit Fighter. Here, we'll try this. Try the smart way. Patron. That is. Alright. Grim Patron. That's why. It's Grim. It's not Patron, it's Grim Patron. So, nobody thought this was going to amount to much because it's 5 mana 3/3. And they saw this, oh, this looks interesting. After this minion survives damage, summon another Grim Patron. Alright,
okay.
It makes another copy of itself when it gets hurt. It was like, okay, it might be interesting. Might see some playing Warrior. Probably won't get competitive. I mean, who cares? What's important about this is that it summons another Grim Patron, which if it takes damage...
Summons another Grim Patron. If I get Warsong Commander on the board, and that was 3 mana. Okay.
And then I get Grim Patron on the board. So if it's a late turn, I got like 10 mana to play with.
Okay.
I can play both of those cards at the same time.
Okay.
If I'm a warrior, maybe I've saved up Inner Aegis. That doesn't cost anything. It deals 1 damage. So I do 1 damage to a Grim Patron, and I do 1 damage to another Grim Patron. And now I have 4 Grim Patrons on the board, and they all have charge. And if there are minions on the board, I might be able to trade and come out ahead with even more Grim Patrons. I can have a maximum of 7 minions on the board on my side.
Okay.
So if they have some 1-cost minions or some 2-cost minions or 2-attack minions, I can attack them with my Grim Patron. I'll get another Grim Patron. I might not even have to sacrifice that one. So I got all these Grim Patrons on the board, and they're so hard to kill because if I don't have a board clear, like I need to have something that it will do 3 damage to everything. And if I don't have that, and I might not because it's late game, and I had to play through an entire deck of cards to get to this point. The other thing about Grim Patron, so that wasn't even the worst part. Like that sounds bad. That's annoying, but it's cool. It's kind of almost an intended mechanic of the game.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know if they figured that out when they were doing playtesting. The real big problem that people were running into was there is a card called, here it is, Frothing Berserker. So this dude, whenever a minion takes damage, gain +1 attack. That's not your minions. That's all the minions. So, and look at its attack. It's only 2 attack. So this could, like, you think it's like, okay, I play this card, do some attack to some minions, maybe it gets a good attack, now it's kind of a threat. It costs 3 mana. 3 mana, 2/4, it's kind of balanced. This is a decent card, it's okay. If I have,
But if the Grim Patron train
if I got
starts
the Warsong Commander, if I got some Grim Patrons on, if I just have the Warsong Commander, I play this card, it has charge now, and that doesn't go away if it gets more attack. It had 2 to begin with, so I play a Warsong Commander, I play this, I play a Patron. Oh, but Patron has 5 mana, Warsong has 3, and Frothing Berserker has 3. How am I going to play all those cards in the same turn, and how am I going to do damage to them? I could save on my Inner Rages, but my Wind Furies, my Wind Furies, they cost 1 mana. They deal 1 damage to all minions, but I've already played all my mana. Wait, how? I can't play all those cards in the same turn. Oh, hey, there's, I'm gonna have to I can't remember what it's called, but, in comes, search legendary.
You missed an A.
D-A-R-Y?
I believe.
Legendary, okay, good. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the 5-cost cards. Say, hey, you can't play all those cards. They cost too much mana.
Wait. I'm gonna have to have you go back in this moment.
Oh, Harrison Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe I noticed there's also a Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins. This card used to cost 4 mana. They nerfed it. I think I forget what it used to cost. I think it was 4 mana. Maybe it was even, no, it was 4 mana. I think it did, I can't even remember what it used to be. But they nerfed it by making it more expensive, and it still sees play now because it's a card with charge. Charge has become so valuable. Like if you just have burst damage, this is a good card. But let's see here, where's that? What's this? I thought it was 5, but oh, there it is. Emperor Therizian. I don't know. I still don't know how to pronounce that. At the end of your turn, reduce the cost of cards in your hand by 1.
So you play that the previous turn. Now everything costs 1 less, and you can play all that in 1 turn.
Play everything in 1 turn. So I play this card. You can't do, like, if you can kill it, cool. Like, good. Well, no, actually, so there's not a way for you to play around this. I'm reducing the cost of cards in my hand by 1. The only way, the only thing that you could be able to do is maybe you have a secret. So there's Mage, they have a secret explosive rings. After your opponent plays a minion, deal 6 damage to it and add access to your hero. This might be one of the only cards you could use to prevent them from reducing their mana cost.
And that's if you happen to play it the turn that before you did that.
And they don't play around it, and you have like momentum, and you're able. But also, this came out after, like way after. Like this was after Patron Warrior. Like this is from an expansion after they nerfed it. Like it might have even gone into Wild. Like this didn't exist, so there wasn't a way to counter that. You just played it and you got cheap cards. So you're a warrior, you're playing the game, and your whole goal for the entire game was to have your Warsong commander, at least one patron, at least one frothing berserker, your inner rages, your whirlwinds. You'll have that in your hand. You just hold on to them. You hold on to them. Then you play the Emperor, and then you win. Because it didn't matter. It didn't matter how much taunt they had on the board. It didn't matter how many minions they had. In fact, if they had more minions,
that's more fodder for you to go through to get the +1s.
To get your guy to have more attack. And so what happened was it became so. Not to say that this was an easy thing to do. You had to be pretty smart. And
No, like I can see that being not easy to do, but at the same time, like that's not totally insane to do.
Yeah. So you'd have to be pretty on your toes to do things effectively. But if you are a smart player, and there's a lot of smart players, and at the same time, there was another warrior deck called, well, there's always like a control armor warrior. And where I was talking about, you just build up armor over and over again. There was a tournament match where it was the armored warrior against the patron warrior. And they had gone to, they had exhausted their decks. And it was at the point where one of them was going to die if they didn't do something. And so the guy had basically survived the end of the match. He had his combo. The armored warrior had some minions. Well, he didn't even, here's the thing. He purposefully destroyed his last remaining minion so that he couldn't proc more attack off of it.
Okay.
Because if he survived, like, I think it was like another turn, the other one would die from fatigue.
Okay.
But it didn't matter because he played his combo and he had enough health to knock this guy down from 100 health. He had 100. He had like 70 armor on him because he just. There's another card that would improve your hero power. So if you played that card, warrior, you play 2 mana. You press your button, you get 2 mana for 2 armor. You play this card, it improves your hero power. So instead of 2 armor, you get 4 armor, which is great. Like that's awesome. And so you would just hit that every turn and build up all this armor, and just you would go to fatigue and you'd win because your person would die before you.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. One turn. Well, a whole game's worth of planning, but one turn knocked him down from all this health he had built for the entire game to nothing, and he lost. And that was what would happen. It didn't matter if you had taunt, if you had things on the board, if you had board clear, because all those cards, the Warsong, the Frothing Berserker, the Patrons, you can have 2 of those cards. So you could play that combo twice.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 times you could. So you could have like one big awesome turn, or you could play it twice and then maybe win like in the middle of the game. But this was around that time. I was part of a league. I think it was just like a fun league. I think somebody built the organizing website as part of like their final project of web design or something, so they needed people to play, test it out. But it was a tournament league, and we'd play it the way the pros did it. So you'd make 4 decks, your opponent would ban 1 deck, and then you would play best of 3. And if you won with your hero, you couldn't play that. So you have to win with. You didn't. Yeah, you had to win with all your. No, you had to win best of because it'd be 2. So you could play 5 games, but it would be best of best of 3. So so I would do that, and that was the time that Patron was a big thing. So you had Patron Warrior, you had some Shaman deck that everybody hated. I'll show you why. Shaman. Where are you? Oh, that's 4.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's significantly underpriced. And what does overload do?
It means that next turn I am restricted to.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But it doesn't fucking matter because I have a 7/7 on the board. 4 mana 7/7. It's a meme in Hearthstone. 4 mana 7/7. A 6 mana 7/7. Like here's a common card. Fucking where are you? Oh Blood Fist Boulder Fist Ogre. 6 mana 6/7. It's not even a 7/7. 4 mana. So it's like, and I get it. Like these are common cards. So
yeah.
Because they're available to all classes, it has to be a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
But just as a value sense, that you are effectively paying 6 mana for a 7/7, but it's really just 4 because you don't worry about the next turn.
Mm-hmm.
You got a 4 mana 7/7. You get to play a 7/7 on turn 4.
Yeah.
Before that, the only people who could do that was warlocks, and they had to fucking work for it. You had this dude, Mountain Giant. All right, 1 less for each other card in your hand. All right, so if I'm a warlock, and what I can do is if I start second, I drew 4 cards, and I have an extra card in my hand from the coin. Turn 1, I draw cards. Now I have 6. Turn 2, I draw a card. I have 7, and I tap for another card. I have 8. Turn 3, I draw a card. I have 9 cards in my hand. I have 3 mana, and if I have a Mountain Giant in my hand, it costs 3 mana, and I get to play a 3 mana 8/8. But to do that, I couldn't play any cards until turn 3.
So you're just possibly getting hit that much.
Especially if I'm going against the Hunter, who
is just spamming. Isn't Hunter second one in?
Mage.
Oh.
I'm having a hard. Druid, Mage, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Shaman. Where's Hunter? Oh, there are no 7+ cards. Okay. I don't have a 0 there. Oh, okay, yeah. That was interesting. Okay. Hunter. Okay.
See, it was the second one.
What would Hunter do? Let's see if I can remember the cards. You would play Firebat, or you would play some 1 mana thing. Who cares? 2 mana, you would do. Actually, let's look at the common cards that you had access to. First turn, you'd play probably a Beast. This is like the gold first turn. Good one. Oh, here's what you do. You might play this. Sassy Deckhand. Oh, no, here's what you play. You play Small Time Buccaneer.
So you're a hunter, you play Spelltime Buccaneer, or you play Undertaker. Undertaker used to get not +1 attack, it used to get +1/+1 for every death rattle minion. So that was way back. Like this was from the first expansion. You'd play Undertaker, or you'd play South Deathganger, Small Time Buccaneer, or Worgen Infiltrator. You might play Argent Squire or Leopard Gnome. Leopard Gnome was a big one. This used to be a 1-mana 2/1. Deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. Like that was. This is when they wanted everybody to be excited for their expansion. Actually, this is an original card. That's that was an original set. So it used to be 2/1. Now it's 1/1. Still see some play. So you would play that. You're a hunter. Next turn, you would play. You might play a secret. If you're aggressive, you only have explosive trap and freezing trap. This is good because if they try and attack your hero, it does 2 damage to all the enemies. That might even be a board clear, especially early game. Freezing trap sits back of their hand. Now it might have been a fine minion. Now it costs 2 more. It sucks. Don't care what your minion is. If it costs 2 more, it's bad.
Yeah.
You will probably play a Glaive Zuka. Not only does that give you more damage, it also gives +1 to a friendly minion. Which, if you played that one pirate, if you're paying attention, I think now it has 5 attack. Where at turn 2, it's going to attack for 5. It's Hunter versus Warlock. Warlock's done shit. Hunter has been. Oh, this is another good one. They play King Zelik. 2 mana, 3/2, awesome. Battlecry, reveal a minion in each deck if yours costs more dry. What you're trying to do was draw. Where are you? You were trying to draw this fucker. Savannah Highman. Death Rattle summon 2/2/2 hyenas. So not only is this a 6 mana 6/5, it'll summon 2 2/2 hyenas when it dies. I don't know if it's still necessarily true, but there was a streamer who said if Savannah hits your face, you're done. If they get a Savannah out and it hits your face, you've lost. But that's what that card would try to draw. That would be a good turn 2 for a hunter. They also had this motherfucker. 2/1/1, but it summons a 3/2 big bad wolf. So even if they board clear, you're getting something stronger. Scavenging Hyena. This is an interesting one. Still pretty good. Whenever a friendly beast dies, gain +2/+1. That pairs really well with. Where are you? There it is. Unleash the Hounds. For every enemy minion, summon 1/1 Hound. Oh, what's it got? Charge. Oh boy, here we go again. They got a board full of minions. You got Savage Hyena on there, and then you play that Unleash the Hounds. 6, so that's 12. 6, that's 14, 8. On turn 5. Maybe turn 3 if you played this turn 2, and then you got to play. That's assuming they have somehow they got a board full of minions. So that's a good 2 mana turn. So we're already at the point where we're doing damage. We're rolling as a hunter, and Warlock still hasn't even gotten started yet. Turn 3 is gonna be. This is when this came out. Man, hold on to your butt. You play this, and then there's so many hunter secrets.
Or I think you just want secret, not secrets.
Come on.
Click on it. Oh, I was going to say right arrow and then.
No, damn it, did it again.
Okay, no, stop. Never mind, keep going.
Do that. It does partial too. Bear Trap summons a 3/3. Cat Trick, after a spell, summons a 4/2. Explosive Trap does damage. Freezing Trap puts minion back in there. Snake Trap summons 3/1/1 snakes. Misdirection makes it attack something else. Snipe does 4 damage to a minion that they play. So normally, like, if you went, maybe you go second, and then you got several secrets in your hand, and you get to turn 3, you play this, and you just play a ton of secrets. Like, this was annoying.
Would
Secrets Hunter?
Secrets, if I remember correctly, trigger when somebody attacks your hero, correct?
Yep.
Would all of those trigger at once, or would be like you just have them like first minion attack, like first attack triggers one, second attack triggers the next? Or...
It's an interesting question because generally, okay, well, here's what would happen. You play all the secrets and then they're there. And then when the opponent does something to trigger it, if they have the same trigger. So like
okay, I wasn't paying attention that some of them had different triggers, but yes.
Yeah, some of them, like this is when one of my minions is attacked, it'll summon 1/1 streaks. But if I'm attacked, it won't trigger. Okay. But some of them are the same thing. If when an enemy attacks your hero, so if they attack my hero, that'll proc and so will explosive trap. The order in which they proc depends on the order I played them.
Okay.
I believe. So what I might want to do is, like, when I'm thinking about it, like, so generally, it doesn't matter. Like, most of the time, the situation, it doesn't matter what order they proc. But when you're getting high level, when you're getting in the high level and you're predicting 3 moves ahead, it matters. So maybe I want this to proc first, so that it does damage to all the minions and kills all the weak ones, so that when this procs, the minion that was trying to attack
is attacking a stronger minion.
And maybe I get a board clear. As opposed to this just attacks something like a 1/1. The 1/1 dies, the other thing stays alive, and then this procs, but I still got minions on the board.
Gotcha.
Sometimes it matters. And sometimes you have to think ahead, but generally it doesn't. But I get to pay a handful of secrets because they all cost 0. It's like a stupid amount of value. So that would be an okay turn 3 if you have a bunch of secrets in your hand. But that came out a while after all the aggressive hunter stuff. Turn 3, you would play something like Dread Skill. Eagle Horn Bow. This is a good weapon. It's a 3 mana, 3 attack. And
since you already played all your secrets, and all of a sudden it gets a bunch of durability and a bunch more use.
So I'm just gonna keep it. So I have to play this before I play secrets, or like maybe get lucky and not have them procced. But if I get this out and I have secrets on the board, that's a lot of value because I just get to keep using this. And I use it to attack the face. Is there anything else that was really good to me? I wonder if there was a common card that they would play. Oh, Argent Horse Rider. Charge Divine Shield. Anything that let me play an attack, like just keep the pressure on. Crazy. Sometimes they throw in Death Lord. This is an interesting card. 3 mana, 2/8 with taunt. So that's a lot to get through. And when they kill it, a random minion from their deck gets put into the battlefield. That could be really bad for me. But if I don't care what happens in like turn 6, it don't matter. If I'm attacking enough, it just gave me enough time to kill him anyway. Unless I'm a priest, and then again use one of my favorite cards. Where is it? Oh, Showward Pain. So somebody would play turn 3, they'd play Death Lord, whatever, and then I'd play I'd play this card, I'd kill it, and then it would summon I'm a priest. I'm playing it's gonna be 3 now. Let's look good. Berserker. No.
Well, search Berserker.
sometimes I'd have that if I'm like a young priest. Injured. Here we go. Injured Blade Master. Deal 4 damage to himself, but that's if I play him. If he just gets summoned because of a death rattle, he comes out there for 4/7. I would pay 3 mana for it. This is an awesome card to combo with Priest because I play him on turn 3. It's a 4/3, which is still pretty good. It's a big threat on turn 3. And then if he survives, I get to heal him with my hero power. Or if I'm a priest and I'm feeling healthy, I can use a circle of healing. That's free, and I get to restore that 4 health that he just kicked himself with. Oh, anyway, you want to try playing?
I don't think I need to play.
Okay.
Continue to comment and ask questions if you want to jump into something.
Let's draft an arena deck
Okay.
together. This has been fun. I'll let you make all the choices. We'll see what happens. Okay. In the arena. Okay. So, should I be a shaman, a warrior, or a rogue? Should I be a mystic, a Frankenstein, or a kitty?
Let's go with shaman.
Shaman.
Earth and fire, heed my call.
Okay. And then, should I be a shaman kitty, a shaman witch, or a shaman demon? Because it's Halloween, the priest dresses up like a demon. Any of these are good.
Go priest.
Priest. Okay. Pick shaman cards, druid, and priest cards. Alright. So, replicating menace. 4/3/1. Death rattle summon 3/1/1 microbots. Not too bad. Lone champion. If I control no other minions, I gain taunt and divine shield. That's pretty decent. Especially in arena, because on turn 3 I probably don't have any other minions. And then Omega Defender. You might, if I have 10 mana crystals, I again can attack. You might remember that from that warrior I played.
Go lone champion.
Alright. Okay. Menacing Nimbus. Add a random elemental to my hand. Dark Iron Dwarf. Give a minion +2 attack this turn. And Sea Giant. Costs 1 less for each other minion on the battlefield. So, Sea Giant's interesting because one of the things that I was made aware of as far as card games and games in general was that you have, they describe them as win more cards.
Okay.
And so you have cards that you play, and the idea is to effectively play this card, it's not going to get you out of a bad situation, because if you get to the point where you can play it, you've already been doing a really good job. You're already ahead. So maybe even if you don't play it, you're probably still going to win. If you do play it, you're definitely going to win. Sea Giants...
I feel like that fits into that probably, yeah.
Particularly in arena, because arena is so balance based, there's a lot of trading. You're generally not trying to leave minions on the board, and you're trying to build up. If I'm in a good, so the situation that I'm imagining is either I have a lot of minions, and so this is cheap and I get to play it, or they have a lot of minions, and if they have a lot of minions, it means we're late game. I'm already low on health, and I might get to play this. But
I guess that is other minions in general, not just your minions.
Yep, it's all the minions, which is fine, except that I get to play this and then it just sits there for a turn.
Yeah.
And so if they have a lot of minions, they might be able to trade, or they just might be able to beat me. but sometimes it's really good, especially when you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Then you have Dark Iron Dwarf. This is decent. It's 4 mana, 4/4. It's like Razor's Edge balance, and it gives 2 attack to a minion. This is interesting too. It's a 2 mana, 2/2, and I get a random elemental. What's cool about getting a random elemental is that a lot of elementals will have a battle cry that will activate if I played an elemental the turn before. This basically, what is nice is I play this, I get an elemental, and I've already played an elemental, so I might be able to get whatever.
Go with that.
Okay.
Menacing Nimbus.
All right. Okay. Firefly. I get to add a 1/2 elemental to my hand, and so that gives me another 1 mana, 1/2. Witch's Apprentice. It's a taunt in the battle cry. Add a random shaman spell to my hand. All right, so 1 mana, 0/1 with taunt, so they have to hit this, and I get a random shaman spell. Shadow Madness. Gain control of an enemy minion with 3 or less attack until the end of the turn. I really like this card because it's one of the things that lets me take a minion, attack their minions with it, and then hopefully I get to destroy 2 minions. But all of these are fine because
Go with the Shadow Madness. Yeah.
I love that. I love anything that lets you take somebody else's minions. That's why I like Priest. They have a lot of things that let you do stuff like that. Stone Tusk Boar, 1 mana, 1/1 with charge. Bloodworm, 5 mana, 4/4, but with Lifesteal. Lifesteal means whatever damage
you do, you get back in health.
Exactly. 2 mana, 1/2 Galvanizer. Battle Cry, reduce the cost of mechs in my hand by 1.
I don't know. I'd go either with the boar or the bloodworm.
I'm gonna go with the boar.
Okay.
Just so that I have something to play on turn 1 if it shows up. Earthen Ring Farseer, Battle Cry, I can restore 3 health to anything. And I already have my healing hero power, but this is good anyway. 3 health to whatever for turning.
And even a 3/3, that's not bad anyways.
2 mana, 2/3, destroy a pirate and gain +1/+1. This is fun because they had expansion that was pirate themed.
Okay.
So they had a lot of pirate cards, and then they had a lot of synergy. So people would throw 2 of these in their deck because they knew they were going against a lot of pirates. And if you had a really strong pirate, you could just kill it. Toxicologist, Battle Cry, give my weapon +1 attack. Don't make me choose this one.
Okay.
I'm probably not getting a weapon.
Go with the Earthen Ring Farseer.
Okay. Igneous Elemental, add 2 1/2 elementals to my hand. So very similar to that one elemental. Faceless Manipulator. Choose a minion and become a copy of it. This is a fun card. Corrosive Sludge, destroy your opponent's weapon. Yeah, any of these are fine. Faceless Manipulator. I don't have anything in my deck that I'm particularly happy about copying with this because I don't have very many expensive. If I'm copying a minion of my opponent's, I'm probably not in a great position.
Yeah.
Being able to destroy a weapon is cool, and it's a 5 mana 5/5. But again, we're also kind of leaning elemental. So
go with the Igneous Elemental then.
Alright. So we're gonna be on the lookout for elemental cards now, because that'd be good synergy. Mad Bomber, deal 3 damage, randomly split between all other characters. That's always fun. Mecharoo, summon a 1/1 Joey bot. When it dies, and Death Speaker, give a friendly minion immune this turn. So what that does is it won't take any damage.
Go Mad Bomber.
Okay. If I control at least 2 other minions, adapt. 2 mana, 2/2. Give my other minions +1 health. Because it's Bard. What is that? Beakered Lightning? Oh, Beakered. Deal 1 damage to all minions. Overload 2.
Go with the... Oh, that's all minions, though. Go with the Bard.
Okay. Violet Teacher. Whenever I cast a spell, I'll get a 1/1 Apprentice. Void Ripper. Swap the attack and health of all other minions. Earth Shock. Silence a minion and then deal 1 damage to it.
Do Earth Shock.
Earth Shock. Okay. Take out some silence. Especially if they played something like this. Silence does a lot of damage. Witchwood Grizzly, Taunt, Battlecry, lose 1 health for each card in your opponent's hand. Sunwalker, Taunt, Divine Shield, 6 mana, 4/5, but with 2 buffs. That's cool. Spiteful Summoner, reveal a spell from your deck, summon a random minion with the same cost. I don't have expensive spells. If I went with this card, I'd be looking for expensive spells to make that work. One thing to know about Arena, late game, people are usually don't have as many cards in their hand.
Okay.
Because they're playing things as soon as they can get them with an eye towards getting things out, which makes Witchwood Grizzly a pretty decent card late game. But Sunwalker's also pretty good.
Go with the Witchwood Grizzly.
Alright. Blackwood Pixie. Battlecry, refresh my hero power. So I could heal something, I'd play this, and I'd heal again, and that would be 7 mana to make that worthwhile. Toxicologist, give my weapon +1 attack. Igneous Elemental, another Elemental.
Go with the Elemental.
Alright. Microtech Controller, summon 2 1/1 Microbots. Bloodfin Raptor, just a 2 mana 3/2. But it's gold, because I have a gold card. 2 mana 2/1 Death Rattle, draw a card. Blue Border. All these are fine.
Go with the Raptor.
Okay.
Because
Lizard Brain says lizard card. Okay. Tidal Surge, deal 4 damage to a minion, restore 4 health to your hero. That's decent. Blaze Color. If you played an elemental last turn, deal 5 damage. Yes. Quartz Elemental. Can't attack while damaged. Sucks.
yeah, go with the Blaze Collar.
Now we got some battle cries to proc on elementals. Alright. Spellbreaker. Battle Cry, silence a minion. Radiant Elemental, my spells cost 1 less.
But we don't have really many spells,
Nope.
do we? Okay.
Not particularly worth it. And then Stone Skin Basilisk. It's Divine Shield and Poisonous.
What is... Okay, so Poisonous is if you hit something...
If I damage something, it kills that minion.
Okay.
Divine Shield, if...
Okay, first time. Okay, I see it there.
Best scenario is I get to attack 2 things with this and kill both of them.
Okay.
Silence is also good. We got Earthshock, but Spellbreaker... Yeah, between Spellbreaker and Stone Skin, they're both pretty decent. We have a lot of 3 mana cards. Just an eye towards... We want to hump.
Okay.
Kind of.
Go with Spellbreaker then.
Alright. Also, it's not bad to have a lot of... If we have a decent... If we survive to late game, we want a lot of high mana cards. Because that's will decide. If I have 3 mana cards in my hand and it's turn 10, that's... Like, I can play those, but then I don't have any cards, and then they're playing things that cost like 8 mana. That's going to take all of my time to kill anyway. Okay, so... Return a friendly minion from the battlefield to my hand. Summon a 2/1 damage golem, or give my weapon +1 attack. Man, they really want me to take this without having a weapon. What? Yes.
Why would you want to return a minion from your battlefield to your hand?
All right.
I guess if you wanted to play the battle cry again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or let's say, okay, so I play an elemental, I play Blaze Caller, I get to do 5 damage. They attack my Blaze Caller trying to kill it, they damage it. So it's got maybe like 2 health left.
You call it back.
I call it back, I get to play it again.
At full health.
I have to pay for it again, but I get to play it again.
Go with the Brewmaster then.
Alright. Twilight Drake, gain +1 health for each card in my hand. Phantom Militia, Echo, Taunt. So I get to, if I have 9 mana, I can play this 3 times. Because every time I play it, the Echo makes it come back to my hand. And then once my turn is over, the Echo goes away. And then this is an unidentified elixir. Give a minion +2/+2, and there's a random bonus effect that this also gets when I draw it. Honestly, any of these are okay picks. Phantom Militia is kind of it's a defensive card, which Hearthstone's not really a defensive game, and it's like any game, it's not particularly defensive. But it can get me out of a tight spot. It might be able to buy me some time. Twilight Drake, when I play it, I'm not even going to have that many cards in my hand, but if I have like a few, it's still worth it. Like all I need is 3 cards to make it balanced. And this, I mean, you don't know what you're going to get, but it's also nice to have buffs. We don't even have any spells, I think.
Go with the unidentified elixir then.
Alright. Okay. Faceless Manipulator.
We decided we didn't really like that one before.
Frozen Crusher. After this minion attacks, freeze it.
Oh, there's another elemental.
And then Shrieking Shroom. At the end of my turn, summon a random 1-cost minion.
Go with the Frozen Crusher.
Alright. I like the Shroom just because it's annoying. But it's also funny. Like you play it, the sounds that it makes is fun. That's why that one card, what was it called? We'll go look at it in a minute. But that's my favorite because she sounds fun. After my hero attacks, I can give this minion +1/+1. I don't have any way to attack, and I don't have weapons. Fairy Dragon can't be targeted by spells or hero powers, and then Mecharoo. Fairy Dragon and Mecharoo, at this point, both are good. If I have an Earthshock, Stone Dust Boar. Having another 1 mana card would give me another option and increase my probability of being able to draw something I could play that first turn. But Fairy Dragon's a good 2 mana card too. So,
go with the Mecharoo.
Okay, so we got some big game changers. Bone Mare gives a friendly minion +4/+4 in taunt. 8 mana to do that, but if I've got like Mecharoo on there, that makes it a 5/5 with taunt. That's pretty decent. Cobalt Scalebane keeps giving minions 3 attack at the end of the turn.
Oh, that was an annoying one from one of the games earlier.
That guy, yeah, that guy gets dangerous fast. That guy needs to go whenever anybody plays him, unless there are no other minions on board. Mind Control. For 10 mana, I get to take control of one of their minions. That's good. That's fun. Especially when, if we get into a position where it's like I can play Mind Control, chances are I'm probably not going to be in the best place. Wait, 18 cards so far. That might swing things, but any of these are good choices.
I go with Mind Control then. You said you like doing that.
I like doing things, yeah. Hopefully we get to the point where we just don't die and we can use it. Discover a spell that costs 5 or more.
I don't think we have that many good spells, so probably your best bet is going to be the Oracle. That's because it's an elemental.
Oh, yep. Death Rattle. Copy a card from my opponent's deck and add it to my hand. That's fun. At my end of my turn, summon a 1/1 Murloc. That's a totem. Yeah. Elemental?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll go. Swap a minion's attack and health. What would be good for that? That'd be interesting. That'd be okay. I can also use it on enemies. Give a friendly minion Murloc +1/+1. I don't think I have any other Murlocs. Give adjacent minions +2 health. 5 mana, 5/4. Have minions on board. Yeah. I'd say this or that. Be good choices.
Go the Valkyrie.
We're looking for high cost minions now. Alright, finally a weapon that would make any of those other picks good. Lightning Bolt, it's decent. Nesting Rock, this is good, especially if I have 2 manas on, or 2 minions on board, it gets taunt.
Yeah, go with the Nesting Rock.
Alright. Bloodlust, if I got a bunch of minions on board, it gives them all +3 attack. This refreshes my hero power. It's an 8 mana 8/8. If it dies, it gives me 8 health.
What do you think? Deranged Doctor or Bloodlust?
I think Deranged Doctor.
Okay, go for it.
That's probably I want some more high cost minions. Ogre Magi, spell damage +1, 4 mana 4/4. Vicious Galehide, Lifesteal Rush 1/3, 2 mana. Rusty Recycler, Taunt, Lifesteal 2/6. I'd say between the 4 and 5. I don't have many spells, which doesn't make that very valuable. I don't even think I have any spells that do damage. I don't have that many taunt minions.
Okay,
yeah.
go with Rusty Recycler then.
Volcanosaur, Shroom Brewery, restore 4 health. That's to anything. Witchwood Grizzly, we have one of those already. This is a good big card because I get to adapt and then adapt again.
Go
it's
for
also
it.
a dinosaur, so no matter what those were, that's what we're getting. I don't have weapons, so I don't get the charge, but it is a 1 mana 2/1, so I could always play that first. Again, Ogre Magi, not too great. Ironfur Grizzly, 3 mana 3/3 with taunt. That's okay. I have a lot of 3 mana cards. I'd probably pick South Sea Deckhand.
Yeah, go for it.
Draw the lowest cost minion from your deck. I got some 1 cost minions that aren't great. Violent Worm, summon 7 1/1 grubs. Kaboom Bot, deal 4 damage to a random enemy minion when it dies.
You want more high cost or?
I'd
low
say
cost?
high cost.
Okay,
yeah.
go with Violent Worm.
Bloodlust Electrolyte will get +1/+1 if I have a spell that costs 5 or
I
more.
don't think we do.
We've got Mind Control,
Oh, we do have Mind Control, that is true.
and that's it. We got Mind Control. And then we got the Steel Rager that has Rush. So it's 4 mana to do 5 attack to something, to an enemy minion. Between these two, either is it's fine.
Go with Steel Rager.
Get to adapt. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion when I die. Draw a card to copy it if you played an elemental last turn. Yeah.
What do you think? Volatile Elemental or the Elementary Reaction?
I'm leaning elementary reaction.
Okay, go for it.
You sure? It's a dinosaur.
It's not a dinosaur.
It's not?
Pterodactyls,
Oh,
pterosaurs aren't dinosaurs.
Oh.
They branched off before dinosaurs became dinosaurs.
Oh, okay then. Alright, Thunderhead. After I play a card with Overload, summon 2 1/1 sparks with Rush. After I play, I don't have any Overlord cards. This is my last card pick too. Summon 2 1/1 sparks with Rush, Overload 1. That's a 1 mana. That's okay. And Shadow Madness.
Go with Shadow Madness.
Alright. So, interesting deck. Let's see what happens. So the first arena game is it's kind of a crapshoot because I'm playing somebody who hasn't played anybody else yet.
Okay.
So it might mean they have a really mediocre deck, might mean they have a kick-ass deck, and they're going to just keep winning. Once like I lose 1 or 2, now I'm in the range where the people I'm playing have kind of the same deck I do.
Okay.
Because they lost a little bit too. But this first match, we're gonna find out. And why do we have to wait? Here we go. Maybe. Nope. I'm wondering why it's taking around 2 minutes. It's a Friday night. Come on, nerds. It's 9:30.
Maybe the problem isn't that there's nobody, it's that there's too many people, and so trying to match up, everybody is taking valuable processing time.
So did you get up to anything interesting? Anything interesting since last I saw you?
Let's see, you last saw me Wednesday.
Thrall versus Gul'dan.
Thursday was mostly just work.
Shall be mine.
Today was mostly just work. Tomorrow is the open house at the Roundhouse.
Open house at the Roundhouse.
Yeah. Which, you know, it's spooky season. You could come down and see our haunted rail car.
Ooh.
That's the Midwest Railway Preservation Society in Cleveland, West 3rd Street, from 11 till last tour leaves at 3.
Haunted rail car.
Yes. We have a passenger car.
One shot, one
That was involved in a accident, and 26 people were steamed to death in it.
Steamed to death.
Yeah. The collision that collision with the freight train. That the freight locomotive ended up next to our car, and it was August, so the windows were open because, well, it did actually have air conditioning, but this was also during World War II, so our suspicion is that air conditioning, you know, supplies were going to, you know, the troops and things that needed more. And so windows were open, and the freight locomotive had a hole in its spoiler, and, you know, steam that's at like several hundred degrees entered the car and killed 26 people.
I would not let them do that. Ooh, awesome. So, this is great because it only has 1 health, and it would summon another of itself. Silence is so that's a really good minion to use that spell on.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is that, remember that Drake, that 4 attack plus
Yeah.
1 that'll silence that and go to 1 health and I kill it. That's a really good card to play against. Now, play this. That buff. Gonna get that buff.
Melt away for me.
At last, a worthy foe.
I don't have any dragons. Restore 4 health. Yes. Attack this. Restore 4 health.
The calm before the storm.
Draw a spell from your deck that costs 5. Oh, here we go. We'll get that mind control. Right now I'm doing awesome. We're gonna overcompensate. Let's see. Could play that. Could play that. No, that's probably pretty good. That's what we're
I will purify the fallen.
4 damage to a random enemy.
Take shelter.
There's probably a couple of different things I could have done to make that outcome go better. But I think that's the best I can do. This will be interesting if he gets a good spell. Give the leftmost minion in your hand +2/+2. Spell count. Interesting.
So leftmost would probably be minions and been in your hand the longest. So
yes, yes.
Try to get that better and out.
There's
Die as you lived.
I'm not thinking too much now because, I mean,
you've got minions out and
I'm
he
in a good
doesn't.
position.
Stormy, stormy.
You know, I probably didn't have to do that. I'll just make him think that I don't care. I probably just shouldn't have attacked it because I was going to steal it.
Ah,
Be
okay.
A dick, but
Onward, friends! To adventure!
I'm still going to take it.
Gotcha!
This time.
Did you actually hit him, or did he just?
So what you can do is, right now because it's over, there's a third option called concede.
Ah,
And
okay.
so if you just like you're gonna lose, or if you're frustrated, you can just be like, "Well, good game." All right. This is a pretty good deck.
Oh, cool.
I imagine that we'd do pretty well.
Well,
But it's-
you'll have to let me know
yeah.
how far you managed to get with it.
See
So
how I get. Yeah, but it's 9:36 now. We even started early, so unless you want to do anything else, I'm hooked up to my computer.
yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, not that one. Not that one. This one. There we go. What'd you think?
Kind of cool. I can see. I don't think I'd ever get into it personally, but I can see like why you'd like it or people like it. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Okay, it was just barely up. Yeah, it's that was my game of choice for a very long time. Just because there wasn't anything better to do. And it's like I feel bad having played a game for that long, and that's what I have to say about it. But it's, I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was just popcorn. I get to play a game, and it's like I'd like to say that like I've never lost my temper over this, or I've never gotten like frustrated, or I never spent money on this game. These are all things I'd like to say, but I can't. I've as much like I think I think we talked about it, but I think I might hover around the same amount of money you spent on Train Simulator. I think you might have just a little bit more. And the stuff that you buy is just there for you. I
Yeah.
bought card packs.
Yeah.
So like like all of the cards that I used to have from, so look at these expansions. There's a standard set, and then there's all these wild sets. So I bought Nixramas. I bought Goblins versus Gnomes. I bought Blackrock Mountain. When these were just, they were like $20 to buy the expansion. It was like an adventure expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Then Grand Tournament, League of Explorers, Old Gods, Karazhan, and Gadgetzan. These were all, they changed the way they do expansions, and they're just like, yeah, we got new cards. And sometimes they'd have a companion adventure that you just get for free. But it used to be you buy the expansion, you had to play through the adventure, and that's how you got the cards. Now it's just new cards.
Yeah.
They had like a on-off kind of deal. I've dusted all of these cards that aren't priest cards, because that's the only thing I wanted. So all the money that I spent, like Naresar, but that's basically devalued.
Yeah.
Goblins, not all these things. It's like I spent that money, I bought cards, and then I dusted them later because I can't use them anymore. I'll only play standard if I play at all. Now it's just kind of like, all right, I'll play arena, because I'm kind of over climbing the ladder of standard. I'm kind of over competing with the meta. I think arena is pretty fair because it puts me on a decently level playing field with somebody who's only been playing for a little while but has learned the decent strategy of the game.
Yeah.
So
and you're like, basically you have, like, you're also on a level playing field from, like, you know, what kind of cards you might have, because you're just building this random deck.
Just building a random deck. So, and it's like, you'll play standard and there'll be so many people playing for so long, by the time, like, it doesn't matter if I'm ranked 25, I'll be playing a deck, I'll be playing against somebody with a deck that a streamer is playing with. Because it's so easy to just copy a deck, but people have been playing long enough that they could just make that deck, and they might not be good and not playing often. But I'm playing against, like, rank 25. I should be playing against people that have the basic cards and maybe a handful of common, maybe one legendary. A deck that was kind of built and crafted by necessity. Like, I got to play when that was okay. Like, you could get pretty far by doing that. It didn't matter what everybody else was playing. You could make a deck out of what you had, and you could do pretty well with it. Now it's all about making it. You make a deck, you copy what a streamer does, because it's very evident really quickly what's good.
Yeah.
And that's what you play.
Is the streamer winning?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
And so there are websites devoted to, like, how you can start your deck, how you do your thing, and you can experiment, but I've lost interest in that. So sometimes I'll visit that, but for now, when I do play, I try to play arena. And Tavern Ball's fun. This one, you play an AI. They have some AI. They have some interesting ones. They have really good ones where instead of playing against somebody, you are cooperating with them to kill a minion on the board.
Okay.
So it's like a boss minion that keeps switching sides, and so you have to, you both buff each other, and then you're attacking that minion so that you can beat it. Some of them are really hard because they have like 100 health, and they get stronger, and they do a lot of damage. But yeah, that's not my favorite game, but a game that I spent a lot of time with.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me play the outro. Where is that guy? There it is, the middle button. Thank you to Mr. Kelbach, who gave us permission to use this song. And we're the Courtesy Flush. Thanks for joining us. You have a good rest of the night.